And hello, movie lovers. And I just want to say this is our part 2 review of Man of Steel. If you guys were with us with part 1, I hope that you enjoyed part 2. This review was so long and so in-depth to the point where we actually had to split this into 2 different parts. The last time we did this was for the Flash review. So let's go on ahead. Let's talk about it. I'm excited to have Tomeka back here with me talking about Man of Steel. Let's do it, guys. As soon as I find the intro music. There we go. And hey, Tomeka, welcome back.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I want everybody to know that you are my friend because it's Monday Night Raw, and I'm here. That's why you're my friend. Okay.
I appreciate your friendship and your dedication to my podcast.
Appreciate my sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. That's why they have a DVD. That's why you're able to record it or stream it now. So. Just kidding. But anyways, it's good to have you back here. I'm excited.
I appreciate it.
Very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you. So this is what I have to say. Previously on Man of Steel, review part 1. Superman learned how to fly. Pa Kent got sucked into a tornado because secrets, and the audience still isn't sure how Lois Lane keeps showing up everywhere. And now, part 2, where Zod fully terraforms Metropolis, becomes a demolition derby, and Superman proves he's faster than a speeding punch, directly into a building or 5, maybe 10. Maybe 6. This is the part where Zack Snyder said, you know what is emotional, what this emotional arc needs? A 45-minute citywide WWE match with laser eyes and flying uppercuts. Also featuring the most intense game of do not snap his neck you've never ever seen until he totally does. So grab your capes, dodge some falling debris, and join us as we unpack the chaos, the controversy, and why Superman probably needs to pay for a lot of construction. Or is this an act of God? Let's get destructive. So, scene 1. Well, not necessarily scene 1, but scene 1 for you guys. The Black Zero arrives in Earth's orbit and transmits a message across the world to every electronic device. Demanding Kal-El hand himself over to them within 24 hours, or Earth will suffer consequences. Lois is forcibly taken in by the FBI after Woodburn outs her as knowing Kal-El. While Clark visits a priest at the local church for advice on what he must do, the priest's father, Leone, tells Clark to take a leap of faith. Clark recalls another childhood incident in which he was being bullied by some classmates who tried to goad him into fighting back. Even as he refused later, Jonathan told him that he would grow up to change the world and that it's up to him to decide on what kind of man he wants to become. So.
True.
Then what do you think about that, though? I think we touched on it a little bit, right? On this scene.
Yeah.
Where we wanted. So, yeah. So that's just a little bit of a recap of what we did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you got anything else new to talk about?
Other than the fact that I feel like that's basically a horror scene that we talked about before. That's just a little recap of what I have in my notes as far as that goes. But this is what I want to talk about. Donning his Kryptonian suit, Clark flies to Edwards Air Force Base, where he surrenders himself to General Clevin Swanswick and Colonel Hardy's forces on the condition that Lois to be freed. Lois interviews Clark on his origins and notes that the House of L chest looks like the letter S, giving her an idea for an alias Clark can use in the middle of the desert. Zod's ship lands, where they are greeted by Fora Hoelo. I did not say that word.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is.
It's called Who UI. That's how I'm going to say it.
Ahura.
Hui.
Ahura.
Whatever.
Star Trek. Ahura.
who demands that Lois comes along too. Despite Hardy's protest, Lois obliges, and as they're being brought aboard the Black Zero, Kel slips her the command key. Lois is given a visor to help her breathe. As the atmospheric compression aboard Black Zero is toxic to humans, and Kal-El collapses, weakened and coughing up blood due to having adapted to Earth's atmosphere, he is strapped down to the table in his weakness state and meets General Zod in a mental projection. Zod explains that after he and his followers escaped the Phantom Zone and repurposed the Black Zero's Phantom Zone projector into a hyperdrive, they searched through abandoned Kryptonian outposts for supplies and other possible survivors. Due to Clark's activation of the old Kryptonian ship, they picked up the signal it put out and tracked it to Earth. Zod offers Cal the chance to bring Krypton back. However, Zod plans to use Earth as a foundation, which will wipe out all of humanity. Cal refuses to go along with this. Zod then reveals he killed Jor-El and then leaves to search for the Codex. So we have a lot going on here. So the first thing I want to talk about is this. So in Superman 1, we actually have that one-on-one interview with Lois, with Superman, and it's more of a classy way of actually doing an interview where it's on the skyline of her house and stuff like that. With this, it's totally different. It's more of the fact that he's in this base, she's in this base, and he got arrested and turns himself in to save humanity with Zod. And I like the fact that, you know, it's in this base area and not at her house where she feels safe at. This is actually vulnerable for the both of them. You know?
Yes.
And yeah, and I just thought that it was kind of neat on how the back and forth of them going and trying to build that chemistry between the two of them. But I didn't really feel the energy from Lois, like we said before. I didn't feel the chemistry coming off of them two. All I feel like is like two high school friends, just like, so I see you have an S on your chest. Yeah, it stands for hope. It's like over here on Earth, it has an X. So it just doesn't have that world building that we had in the first one with Lois and having her meet Superman face to face and having that one-on-one talk like I wanted it to. But what about for you?
Yeah, I'm not feeling the chemistry. I think in was that Batman versus Superman when they both were in they both Lois and Clark were in the bathtub.
Yeah, that was in Batman versus Superman.
It felt like more chemistry. This just feels like a awkward first date. But I guess because they first met, right? They're getting to know each other, so maybe that's
they're getting to know each other better. Because don't forget, they actually meet during that whole entire ice thing too that we talked about. Whenever they first come in contact with the ship, and then she's also interviewing everybody around Smallville. And then there was basically just them just talking in front of Pa Kent's grave.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. This is actually them talking back and forth and having a full-blown conversation.
When she broke into his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And tripped the alarm system. Yeah, got it. And then she got hurt, and then he had to go tend to her wound.
Right, exactly.
Got it, yeah. But yeah, yeah,
what
she
think?
Like, I don't know. I just her energy is just, and I didn't get why. I'm gonna call her Uhura, even though that's not her name, and that's the chick from Star Trek. Anyway, when Uhura was like, yeah, she can come too. I'm like, why is she coming? Like, why do you think they chose for Lois to come?
I think it's the fact that they needed like a dazzle and distress kind of thing for the writing of it because of Lois.
I thought you
were going to be honest here. I mean,
for Zod's crew to take Lois. I thought you.
Well, don't forget the female person in part 2. She was like that, whereas like, oh, I like your badge. I want to take that. So it's like whatever that belongs to Earth, I feel like is basically what she wants. But even then, they don't even know that this is actually Lois's and Superman's first confrontation between the two of them. So therefore, why is she even taking them in the first place?
Yes, it, like you said, it was only to drive the plot, but there was no reason for them to take Lois.
No, there wasn't absolutely no reason, other than the fact they wanted her to save Superman or Superman save her.
Yeah, that was yeah, no good.
I agree. I did not like this scene. Just falls flat for me every single time I watch it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I wish there was just more meat there for me to be more invested in. And the other thing that was actually pretty cool was like where he actually tells the general and everybody else, he's like, look, I can see right through the mirror. He goes, you can trust me, General. You don't have to try and take out your gun or anything. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not going for verbatim. But he's also Martian Manhunter later on.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm like, this still does not make sense, even with him being Martian Manhunter later on for Justice League.
Maybe he's just wanted to
trying to blend in.
Test them out, like what type of alien is this?
True.
So yeah, so he's like still in his role as like human FBI director or whatever he is.
That's true, because he's also trying to blend in with the Earthlings too.
Yeah. Yes.
So
but yeah, that Lois part still didn't make sense to me. It made more sense in, was that Superman 1 or 2 when they took Lois. Yeah. You know, remember when they took Lois with them, how they crashed into the Daily Planet? Yeah. Because she knew Superman. And then if they take her, then it's like a hostage and Superman will follow.
Right, because they're going to use her as bait. Yeah.
Yeah, that part made more sense. This doesn't make sense besides her saying, I'll go. And
right. It's like, no. I remember whenever all the people from the army's like, no, she's staying. And he goes, no, it's okay. I'll go. It'll be fine. I'm like, girl, it's not going to be fine. You don't even know what you're until there. You don't even know if you can even breathe on the ship. Because here's the thing. For all they know, they could actually kill her on the ship and not even know that about the fact that she can't breathe on the ship or anything, for example. Even though they had that thing to make her breathe, what makes them think that they're sure enough that would actually help her breathe? Yeah.
Unless you think they wanted to just take her hostage because she's an Earthling?
Probably.
Maybe that's some kind of, I don't know, something like we got one of yours, and so you can't really do anything to us type of thing. I'm gonna have to watch that scene over. Like, even after this podcast, I'm gonna have to watch it over to see if I can make some sense out of it, because it just seems like a one big plot hole.
It doesn't make sense, even for me. I've seen this movie maybe over 5 or 10 times.
Yeah.
And I'm still questioning it even now. It's like, why do they have this scene in here? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. I understand that what they're trying to do is build up that tension of, oh, snap, they have one of ours, and what are we going to do about it? Because Superman's also going up in space with her. Because remember, even the army general was like, no, you didn't say anything about one of ours. You only said Kal-El. You didn't say her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I just didn't like it. As far as that part goes.
It doesn't make sense. But also, since they have that device where she can breathe, it makes me wonder how many other, well, I guess anybody that isn't Kryptonian, they'll have that device so they can breathe their atmosphere. So it didn't matter if she was from Earth or not. Like,
right.
I don't know. Anyway, that part was cool.
Yeah.
You know, having a device so she can breathe. But then also Superman doesn't have any device, so he's trying to get adjusted to the atmosphere.
Well, don't forget though, too. Zod also doesn't know that Superman isn't able to breathe or anything either, because he thinks that he can breathe on his own without having any type of breathing machine or equipment or anything either. Mm-hmm. But he's been in the Earth's atmosphere so long that it's actually kind of poisonous to him until he actually gets used to it. So I like that idea, the fact, okay, I've been in this Earth's atmosphere so long that new surroundings take me a while to actually get used to. So I like that idea they used with it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But it also humanizes him a little bit too, like we mentioned earlier, in part 1's review, where where it humanizes him to have a little bit more weakness to new surroundings. But what I thought was pretty interesting, and I wish this wasn't a dream sequence with Zod explaining stuff to him, and he's being drowned in all these skulls. I
thought it was kind of like what's that movie called? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Ms. Marvel. You know, Ms. Marvel, where they like took her into another sequence. But it wasn't. Right. I guess it would be like a dream, but it was kind of a simulation.
Right. It was one of those projections, like I mentioned.
Oh, excuse me.
But I still didn't like it though. I mean, like, I get the fact that they want to show.
Oh boy!
What was cool was Zod actually shows Kal-El on the farm, in the life that Clark knows and Superman knows. He's like, this is not your home. The home that you live on is Krypton. That was your home. That's just a temporary place, and it doesn't mean anything to you, just as it doesn't mean anything to me. Therefore, it shouldn't matter to you what I do with this place. And then he winds up finding out that Kal-El loves the humans and will do anything to protect the humans. Yeah. And then he gets drowned in the bunch of skulls. And I just wish that they would have had this without the sequence like that, because I thought it was a cool scene to have to show everything that Zod's done and showing all the people that he killed along the way to make him look like he's right when he's wrong. And instead, he's going to become one of those skulls if he doesn't do what Zod tells him to do. He's also still looking for that codex that he doesn't even know that's implanted in Clark right now either.
Wait, I thought he did. Didn't his dad say that the codex is in him?
Yeah, but Zod didn't know that. Only Kal-El knows that. Zod doesn't know that until like later on. Whenever the doctor asked him, whenever he asked the doctor, he's like, so with this codex, does this person need to be alive?
True. Okay.
And he goes, no. So therefore he can go ahead and kill Superman if he wanted to.
Yes. I mean, he did offer him like, hey, you can come be with me because I'm one of your true people. And this earth isn't yours. So we can kind of just rebuild Krypton together. So he did offer him like an olive branch before he destroyed him.
He was trying to act like he's all, sweet and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he's not. He's never been sweet. It's like diplomatic,
But you know what I'm saying, though. Zod's just trying to show Kal-El that he's not a threat to him or anything, and just trying to show him the life of his home life.
Yes, it would have been really messed up. Yeah, interesting if Superman said, "Okay, yeah, okay, and that's it. I'll go with you guys."
Yeah, okay. Screw the humans.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with you guys. I don't have anything else here to tie me to Earth.
Right? I don't have Lois. Lois doesn't mean anything to me. I can kill her right now. I just met her today.
Chick. Yeah. So what you need me to do? You need me to do something?
But here's the thing, though. This is where Pa Kent's method of being that moral compass to Clark comes in, where it's like, you know what? This is where I grew up in. These are the people I care about. The place Krypton is not who I am, like I mentioned before. So it all comes full circle around again. And so now Zod realizes, okay, I cannot change Kal-El's mind no matter what I try. And then he destroys the fake barn and the fake Smallville that he designed. And then all of a sudden he winds up becoming who he is.
Yeah, him seeking in the skulls did seem like kind of a video game.
Yeah, it does feel like a video game. And it's just something about it that I wish that it was more real than what it was supposed to be. But then again, it's a dream sequence slash, showing that scene. So of course it's going to feel like probably a video game because of the fact it's a dream sequence.
Yeah, so you wanted it real like Terminator 2. She was on this, she like on the gate, and then she just she gets caught on fire because that was real to me.
Yeah, that was real. That was real like, deep.
Dang. Yeah, I get what you mean.
But then that's actually the Black Zero's Phantom Zone projector. But they searched through abandoned Kryptonian outposts for supplies and others possible survivors due to Clark's activation of the old Kryptonian ship. They picked up the signal. So how do you feel about the fact that he was the one, because of Clark, that's how they were able to pick up his signal from the old ship?
It's messed up, man. I mean, I don't know any way he could have avoided that.
Me either.
Why didn't his dad? I guess he didn't think about that.
No, because Jonathan didn't know what this was. Pa Kent didn't know what that was.
Well, all I mean, like his Kryptonian dad, why he didn't figure out if my son puts the USB in the drive, then it will send out this signal to others like Zod.
Well, like I said, it's more advanced. But think of it like this, though, Tomeka. It's more advanced technology and stuff like that, too. So Jonathan's also an Earthling, so he wouldn't know what that was or what it would do. And Clark, he was just, he just seen that it went inside the ship and activated the signal, so he didn't know. So he was just innocent with this. And then he didn't realize, because of what he did, also jeopardizes the people that he cares about, which is the people on Earth and Smallville and also Metropolis. So it jeopardizes everybody on Earth because of the choice that he made, even though he didn't realize the choice that he made would put anyone in danger.
Because he wanted to figure out who he was.
Yep. You see, this is why you should not try and figure out who you are.
No, just accept that you are like human.
Well, even Jonathan said this. Like, even Jonathan Mars is like, you're our son. That's all you are, know?
You're our son. Ignore those feelings of trying to want to figure out who you are. What's wrong with you?
Right. Those people didn't raise you.
Yeah.
He raised you.
Yeah. Tell them. Tell them, John.
Meanwhile, Lois activates the command key. The Jor-El takes over the Black Zero's systems, changing the atmosphere to give Clark his powers back. He also helps Lois escape the ship, giving her instructions on how to send the invaders back to the Phantom Zone. She boards an escape pod, which gets damaged by one of the Zod's followers. Kel escapes and has final words with his father, who encourages him to save Lois and all humanity. He flies out and saves Lois before her pod burns and crashes. So I thought it was cool to see the father doing something to help Kal-El and her out of this situation and having that interaction with her. And I like how he opens the doors. I like how he tries to stall time and stuff. And he was really a great AI.
Yeah, that's what he was. He's an AI guy. It reminds me of that scene in Jumanji where that guy's like, "Welcome to Jumanji. He's your guide." Yeah, it did seem like a really cool video game. Like if they could create that. I don't know if they made Man of Steel video game or not.
They made a Superman Returns video game, which sucked. Like, I brought it back to GameStop the next day. And got $10 for it.
Oh no!
$30 for it.
Well, at least you get some McDonald's.
Yeah, during that time, yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, if they could make that into a video game, that'd be nice. Where Jor-El is telling us like turn left, and then you turn left, and then he's like, take that weapon, do this, do that. Like I thought that was pretty cool, yet very strange that I don't know, I just think it's just really strange and cool. Like you said, it is like AI where he can sense or know, oh, this is Lois, this is Clark, this is Zod, like
Right.
that.
It's like he knows people's temperaments in their hearts. And to where he can trust them. But he's already programmed Zod to be the bad guy already. So it's kind of weird on how that works with Lois. Unless he knows that this is an Earthling and doesn't need to be on this ship with Clark.
Huh. So you're telling me that AI will be like Jor-El, like it will sense who is bad, who is good.
Possibly.
Oh no.
But if you think about it, I'm going to go further though. Like you said, a video game. This might be a perfect 4D ride for like Universal Studios or something. Where you can actually go inside the space pod and Jor-El's actually going along the ride with you. And he's like, hey, turn left. Okay. Then, we're going to slide this door down. Hurry up, guys. Hurry up.
Oh, okay.
So I would love to see that as a ride. And then the pod is a roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going. What do I do next?
Now you have to wait until Superman saves you and brings you back to Earth.
Oh, that's when they drop us?
Yeah, like that's when they drop you and you go into the Earth's atmosphere.
What's that ride called? Universal Studios Tower of Terror? Or whatever it's called, when they just do a death drop on you?
Back in the day, yeah, that would be Tower of Terror.
Okay, well, that's where the pod just does a giant death drop, and then suddenly it stops, and then it's like Superman.
Right.
Okay, cool.
But let's just. But I thought that it was actually pretty cool on how that happens with Jor-El helping out Lois, and they give him more to do than what we got in the second Superman movie, where you have the mother coming out of her hologram and hugging her son for giving up his powers, even though she told him not to give up his powers.
Yeah,
that was like the only moment where where I feel like that this one did better than that.
Okay, yes, I can see that.
Because instead of it being the love of the mother, it's actually the love of the father that helps and guides Kal-El.
Yes, exactly. And he's teaching her combat skills on the fly.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, she got to hurry up and learn quick or she'll die.
But what did you think of the final words with Cal escapes and has final words with his father? What do you think about that? Where he actually has that heart-to-heart moment with Jor-El.
I thought that was a really nice conclusion. Like a full circle moment for him to say goodbye to his dad.
I agree. I think that was actually a perfect, sweet little send-off where he never got a chance to say hi to his dad or say goodbye to his dad, because he was just a baby at the time who got sent into the Earth's atmosphere. So I definitely like that heart-to-heart moment. And then even in death, he's still trying to protect his son and stalling for Lois to get out and go into the pod. And then you have Superman Kal-El saving her. So I like those moments.
That was deep, Johnny. Even in death, he's trying to save his son.
Right.
Yeet. Sorry.
Nah, you're good. So, on the Kent farm, Zod and his forces confront Martha, demanding to know where the Codex is. Clark arrives and tackles Zod, punching him in rage as they fly across Smallville before a crash landing in the town center. Zod's helmet is damaged and his senses are overwhelmed as he is exposed to Earth's environment. Clark taunts the Weekend Journal and is blasted by an arriving Kryptonian vessel. Zod is escorted away while Forara and Namek remain behind to battle Cal in a destructive confrontation throughout. Smallville, the U.S. military led by Hardy, also arrives and engaged all three Kryptonians. Forara easily dispatches all of the human soldiers, while Cal is able to send Namek crashing into a nearby train yard. Clark then tackles Forara just as she's about to fight Hardy one-on-one, only to get hit by a train thrown by Namek and sent crashing into a nearby store. Missile hits Forara, knocking her out, and Namek departs with her. Cal emerges from the ruins before Hardy and the soldiers, and Hardy declares that Cal is not the enemy. Cal thanks the Connell and flies off to the Kent farm to check on Martha. Lois arrives with information on how to defeat Zod and his men. So what I like about this is the action sequences. It reminds me playing with my own action figures and having these little small play sets that I had. Yes. And sending Superman flying into buildings and stuff like that. And these are two unstoppable forces that are fighting against each other who have the same superpowers. And Clark just became Superman about 7 hours ago. So he's new to the job. So he doesn't quite know how his abilities work. So that's why I have to give a little bit of a grade as to why people criticized him a little bit. Because I feel like, he just became Superman. He just got a chance to even get to know his father. He knows where he comes from now. He just put on the suit not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't really know how to really go about using his powers the way he needs to use his powers. Mm-hmm. So he's new to the job. He's about 8 hours into his job before he became Superman.
Yeah, got here.
Yeah, he just got here. So, but I like this whole entire thing of an unstoppable force meets another unstoppable force with the same power. And they're going through Smallville, just destroying, annihilating Smallville. I wish that they would have just kept it in Smallville. That would have been cool, just to have that one small town and have him fight on Clark's turf, on Kal-El's turf, to where it's not. Think of it like this: it's nothing but cornfield. You have a couple of small buildings, and stuff like that, and also too, yes, I get the fact that Metropolis gets destroyed and stuff. But there's not that much casualties if you think about it, if you look at it from a small town scale. If he would just fight on the same turf.
Okay.
He kept it there.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Just have it one fight in one location.
Right. Instead of having to go over from Smallville and then fly over to Metropolis.
Yeah.
Hey, Auntie Rose, how you doing? But that's how I look at it. I look at it the fact that, I just look at it the fact that it's a small town. These people are hiding inside their little small buildings. Like, that's going to help. Because even Clark is like, Superman's like, hey, get inside the building. And I'm like, what is that going to do? These are two people with the same superpowers. There's no way that they're not going to destroy the buildings or anything.
Yes, I guess I didn't mind the flight from Smallville into Metropolis. With all these superhero films, you have to fly into the city and then crash a bunch of stuff and property damage and almost kill the citizens. That's like with every one of them. I don't believe I've seen a superhero film where they just fought in a small location.
No,
because they want to do as much damage as possible.
Right, because every single superhero movie always has to have 2 or 3 different locations to make us geek out over and have those fights. And I even like the little sound effects and even the little special effects of like the whack. You know what I'm talking about? Like you see the impact of the fists hitting Zod's face, and you have that. I love that. It reminds me of something straight out of a comic book, the comic book pages. So that's something I liked about with that. I feel like that this was the most threatening part of this movie, and of course, Zod is now hearing and everything coming in. So just as Superman is sick as soon as he gets into the space atmosphere in that ship, Zod's also getting sick into our atmosphere because he's not used to our atmosphere or anything. So he's taking everything in, and everything is just hitting him all at once. And I like how Superman's like, "You feel that, Zod? Yeah, that's everything that you're hearing. That's everything I had to face here on Earth to get used to it."
I just didn't like when he gave away the secret of how to get adjusted to that. He was like, "Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, my mom told me that I'm supposed to focus on one thing, and that's what helped me." I was like, "Would you shut up and let the man suffer?" You just helping him out.
He's over there taunting him like a WWE match, like I mentioned in the intro.
I would have just let that man suffer and just walked away or punched him or something. He's weak. He's like, he was like a coach. Okay, Zod, now what you need to do is concentrate on one thing, and that will help you with all of these symptoms.
You have to find your center, Zod.
Yeah, find your center, Zod. Find your center, and then let everything else flow. I was like, shut up. Dang, why are you telling him the secrets?
How about the bad guys were supposed to tell the secrets, and the superhero is supposed to be the one that takes them down for giving away the secret? You know?
I mean, he just got on this job, so he's new, you know.
Yeah, he's new here. He just got hired about 8 hours ago.
I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have said,
I ain't saying crap. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, the most I would have said is like, "Oh, look at you now. You can't even breathe." And that's it.
And then kick him in the face like a WWE match.
Yeah.
And then tombstone him.
Yeah, then destroy him, and then the movie's over.
Right, exactly.
Well, you need to
but I do, and then also too, you also have Zod that's swinging him around with his cape, and then the barbers, everything is getting destroyed here. And you asked me a question: do I think that this was the most threatening Zod that we had? Did I like Superman 2 Zod or this Zod? I like this Zod.
Yeah, me too.
Because he doesn't just have the three amigos with him.
Mm-hmm.
He has a crew with him. That makes it even more threatening because he has this crew with him.
Yeah.
Opposed to just having the other guy who doesn't even know how his powers work and not that great at his powers. And then you also have the female person from the second one too. So I like the fact that you have this more menacing crew with him that you actually need, that actually empowers who Zod is.
Okay, the woman was still menacing in the second one now.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah, both the women were menacing. Horus, even though that's not her name.
But I just thought that, this was better.
Yeah,
as far as they handle it.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Thanos and his crew, like very menacing from outer space, a real threat, not like they're going to some Russian ballet or something.
Exactly. But what do you think about the fact that, when the missile hits Ferrara, knocking her out, then because Namek is the one that ended up hitting her with it?
Oh, is that because I know there was a scene where they were on the helicopter.
Yeah, the helicopter scene. All this happens in Smallville. So,
okay. I mean, wait, did that really get her? Well, how did she die again? Oh God, she died again.
No, she didn't die in this one like that. She went back up to the ship because she was weak.
Oh, okay. I was like, surely Emil saying.
Because I thought for sure too. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought for sure that she died in this scene.
Yeah, I was like, Emil ain't gonna take my girl out now.
No, surely not.
I mean, she was fighting at IHOP, so.
Yeah, you get to see Pete working at IHOP. You get to see everybody doing their day-to-day business in this little small town.
Yeah,
and they're not used to this. They're not used to these superhumans fighting everywhere.
Yeah,
but then you also have the Black Hawk that gets shut. You know what I mean? Like basically winds up crashing. Then you have Superman trying to save them. Then you have Hardy, who's trying to do a one-on-one match with Hora as well. with the knife.
I was like, what is he doing? He's fighting for democracy. That's what he's doing. You know how they always have that lone human that's trying to go up against an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
And then you want to cheer for him. You're like, yeah, man, you go to your death.
Yeah, bro, you got it. You got this. And then I'm looking at my other. You don't got this.
No, a knife ain't gonna take my girl out. Come on now.
And then Superman winds up, trying to weaken her, and then he goes back over to Hardy. He's like, "Look, he goes," and he looks at the other guys. He goes, "He's no problem here. He's one of us."
Yes, finally, the government listens. But yeah, when Zod had that cape, right, and then he just swung him around. That's why, in not Incredibles, right? Whatever. Anyway, when she said no capes, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. No capes. I mean, Zod flew without a cape, and that was my question. Like, why can't Superman fly without a cape? Is that just like a fashion accessory? He just need a cape for better wind velocity or
wind velocity.
I was like, wait, I mean, clearly he can fly without the cape because I see Zod flying and doing all these tricks.
Because then he's in his pajamas after he gets done taking.
Yeah, I'm finna fight you in my PJs, my onesies.
Because he goes from being in this big, huge metal armor thing, and then he gets pissed off enough, like a baby, and he winds up being in his pajamas.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight you in my pajamas like a real man. It's like, okay. Yeah, I mean, well, technically Superman in his pajamas, he just got a fancy cape on.
But yeah, missile hits for knocking her out, and then Namek departs with her. Then Kal emerges from the ruins before Hardy and his soldiers, and Hardy declares that Kal is not the enemy. Kal thanks the Connell and flies off to the Kent farm. So now we actually get to see Ma Kent going through the family albums and stuff. And then you see Lois arrive, and then you see and stuff like that. And then they realize that State Farm's not on their side because it's an act of God.
State Farm. So much for that sponsor.
Right. Back aboard the Black Zero, Zod learns from Jax Yor that Jor-El infused with the Codex into Kal's cells after Jaxter confirms that Kal does not need to be alive in order for the Codex to be extracted. Zod orders for the World Engine, a machine used by the Kryptonian space explorers to transform the planet to be deployed. The World Engine detaches from the Black Zero and lands into the Indian Ocean, while the Black Zero positions itself over Metropolis to give us a great techno beat as the World Engine begins because of that. Oh, no, but you know what I mean. Black Zero, huh?
Go ahead.
No, go on ahead.
No, I just saying yeet.
Okay. The World Engine detaches from the Black Zero and lands in the Indian Ocean. Okay. As the World Engine begins its terraforming process, Dr. Hamilton realizes that what is happening and warns that once the engine has finished its work, there won't be a human race left. Kal-El now is now Superman. Lois and Hardy arrive with Kal-El's ship in tow, explaining to Sonwick and Hamilton that both the Black Zero and Kal-El spaceships are powered by phantom drives, and that causing the two to collide will greatly be significantly that will suck Zod and his soldiers back into the Phantom Zone. Swanswick assists the plan, and Superman flies off to the Indian Ocean to destroy the World Engine. So, of course, when you have a villain, hey Jojo, how you doing? So, of course, when you have a supervillain, they also have to have some type of technology to try and stop the hero from destroying the Earth.
Yeah.
stuff. This is where it doesn't work for me. And I really don't like the scene. I really don't like anything with the rest of it. I don't like anything with tentacles that he has to go in here and fight, because I feel like every movie in 2013 had tentacles in it.
Well, I just got kind of weary with them coming back and forth into Metropolis. It's like they get beat up and then they hover over to regroup. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Great. Okay, we're back, guys. I'm like, geez, man, like they came back and forth into Metropolis Zod like 2-3 times after they got beat up, and I'm like, can y'all just go? Like they just like that part was annoying to me. I was like, dang, they back. It's like they hovering around. And then the part with Lois was like, oh, I know how to defeat them. I was like, oh, it just felt like it was just an exaggerated plot.
Yeah, just to further it along and stretch it out even further.
Yeah, it was like stretched out beyond what it needed to be.
I get the fact that Zod wants to make it a Kryptonian thing. I get it. I understand that.
I understand that. It was just that once they got beat up, they flew away, and then they came back like, hey, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to destroy y'all. Like, they just was like back and forth, back and forth. That part was kind of annoying.
It was, because it's like, okay, round 1, I got my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
Now here comes round 2. Round 2 is I'm going to destroy everybody that Kal-El cares about, even though I already told him that I was going to kill everybody that he cares about. I think it would have been better if they did this already and had those machines out. Yes. And then you had that battle of him trying to take down Zod versus it having them fight again and do the same repetitive stuff that we've seen before. You could still have the fight between Zod and everybody else in Smallville and then take it over to Metropolis.
Yes, because that machine that was making those techno beats that you talked about, that could have been going on while he was fighting Zod, because then it would have been a conflict like, oh no, I need to stop this machine from destroying Metropolis, but then I'm fighting Zod, because it's like he fought Zod and that was it. Okay, and now they're going to pull out the machine. So it gave him time to focus and concentrate on one thing at a time. Like he should have been in a situation where he multitasked. Like there's this machine and it's crushing the earth, but then I'm fighting this guy and you know.
There should have been that thing where Zod's trying to stop him from stopping the machine.
Yes, like, oh, that would have been suspense. Like, man, how's Superman gonna fight Zod and then save Metropolis?
Right, and then having both of them to collide as well.
Yeah, I would have wrote that. You know, I should have just wrote this movie. That's what I should have did. Should have just said, Snyder, baby, just, you know, you be my second.
Snyder didn't write this one. Oh, okay. He only directed it.
Well, whoever wrote it, they would have been my second.
That would actually be David S. Goyer.
Okay.
Well, okay, I have to say Goyer and Zack Snyder both did. Okay, so they both were collaborators on it.
Okay, well, they would have been my second. And I'm like, no, this is what we're going to do. But then they would have asked me, okay, well, if Superman's fighting Zod, well, how is he going to stop this machine? And I'm like,
because he also has to fight the woman too, and he also has to fight the other Kryptonians.
Yeah, and that's what I've been like. Well, and Supergirl comes in for no reason at all, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, we weren't supposed to have her in this movie to the next.
That was supposed to be until Man of Steel 2, which we don't even get Man of Steel 2.
I'm like, well, we ain't doing Man of Steel 2. Let's do it now. Supergirl comes in, she focuses on the
for
machine,
no reason,
and then he is fighting Zod. That's how that works.
But yeah, it's just I wish there was more to this than just that, you know, with the machines but it is what it is.
I think Zod and his crew wasted too much time, and they actually made it easier for Superman. Like I said, he fought them, and he had time to just focus in on just the machine.
Exactly.
Yeah, they should have worn him down more.
Yeah, they should have worn him down more. Something should have actually happened to where maybe there's something on top of Zod, and Zod has to try to get out to try to stop Superman from putting him back in the Phantom Zone and stuff. But even
Yeah.
that plan doesn't even work at all because they don't even get sent back into the Phantom Zone.
No, 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 it doesn't.
Instead, what we have is a USB drive that winds up getting sucked into the machine again with the letter S, and then all the power stops, and then they just crash.
Yes. Oh, you're talking about on the plane where the humans saved them, and they got kind of stuck like this, and they were like, "What are we gonna do? Smack it in there?" I'm like, yeah, that's not how you do a USB machine. Something wrong with that port.
Yeah. Somebody needs to go ahead and get tech IT out there to help out with the USB port.
Not for to ram your USB into the port like that. What's wrong with y'all?
Let's see. Okay, so now Cal's ship is loaded aboard a military plane that heads to Metropolis, where the Black Zero, working in tandem with the World Engine, is causing a massive destruction in the city. Zod heads to Ellesmere Island, where he huns his heightened senses before entering the scout ship and installing his own command key, giving himself control over the craft. Jor-El appears and tries to talk Zod out of going through with this plan, but Zod cruelly roughs his former friend and deletes his program from the ship systems before taking the control and flying to Metropolis. Superman battles the world's engine's defensive measures despite the toxic atmosphere it is generating, then gathers his strength and flies straight into the engine, destroying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene with Jor-El and Zod, where Jor-El said, "My son is more of a man than you are." I was like, dang.
He went savage.
Yeah. And he knew he was gonna like destroy his program. So he was like, "I'm just gonna drop it like a boss. My son more of a man than you are." Might drop. He was like, and delete.
He's like, "I'm getting tired of your rhetoric." But my question is for you. Like, what do you think about the fact that the Codex is inside of him? That's inside of Superman, and that, you know, all the Kryptonians that Zod that's in him, that Zod is trying to make this planet of, is implanted into Superman.
I think it is a smart move and also dangerous. Like, how can one person hold that much information? Be that much of a vessel for such a powerful, I don't want to say weapon, but you know,
not a weapon. I would say I would have to say like a god.
Yeah, it's like
basically what he is.
Vessel for everything, including the mutant babies in the Matrix pods.
That turn into something. Yeah, I think there is something dangerous about having the fact that you have this weapon that's planted inside of you of this, and you don't even know what it is or what it could do to your kid.
Yeah, very invasive.
But you know that in your heart that you're doing the right thing, and trying to protect it, and you also know your son that he's going to be okay. You know, because he. So that's what I got from it, from that angle.
Or you could say this won't make much of a Reddit theory, but was it Superman, Batman, or was it Justice League? I can't remember the one that Superman went totally crazy. Yeah, it was Justice League, and Justice League was like, "Bro, you need to chill."
Yeah.
Okay, I think the Codex was like making him crazy. Like, it was still in him, so it was like scattering apart, getting his brain, and he's like, "Oh, who are you people?" You know, even though that's not true. Whatever. Anyway, that's my Reddit theory for the day.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, he tries to talk Zod out of going through with the plan, but we talked about that. So Superman then fly. So what did you think about the fact that it's actually weakening Kal-El Superman? This machine is,
yeah,
and he's still having to fly into this machine to kill this machine. So at this point, he's actually weakened, and he has to use all his strength to basically just knock this thing and annihilate it.
Just shows how powerful he is. Like, yeah, even though it is taking some of his strength, he still has enough strength to destroy it. The scene that was kind of, I guess it was touching to me, was the girl from the Daily Planet. I think she was an intern or whatever. She was trapped in a car or something.
Structure. Yeah, she was trapped in the building, the destruction of the building, because Perry was trying to. But we'll get to that in a minute. We're almost. Okay. Yeah. But Cal's loaded aboard a military. Okay, so now we're getting into Superman then flies to Metropolis and lands in the scout ship, rejecting Zod's pleas that damaging the ship will ruin the chance to rebuild Krypton, arguing back that Krypton had its chance. Superman uses his heat vision to damage the Genesis chamber, flooding the ship and causing it to crash through skyscrapers into the ground of Metropolis. The military are deployed to take out the Black Zero, but the Gravity team throws the missiles off course. Lois, Dr. Hamilton, and Connell Hardy was aboard a C-17 with Kal-El's ship, which he gave them to use against the Black Zeros. Farah arrives on the plane and takes the soldiers out on board, but is unable to stop Hardy as he flies the plane into Black Zero, creating a portal for the Phantom Zone. Okay, so she does get sucked back into this. So she does get sucked back into the Phantom Zone, which sucks everything inside, including the ship. Zod's followers and Hardy, Hamilton, and Fiora. Lois falls out and is saved by Superman, catches her in midair after he puts Lois down next to Perry. Steve and Jenny, they share a kiss. Superman then levels to confront an enraged Zod, who vows to kill the humans in revenge as his purpose in life. To protect Krypton and its people has been taken from him. The two then have a devastating battle across Metropolis, destroying several buildings and cars in the process. Zod then rips off his armor and learns to fly as they too continue to battle an even fought contest. After their fight takes them into space, then they land inside Metropolis Central Station, where Zod opens his heat vision on civilians. Superman grapples with Zod, trying to avert his heat vision before having no other choice but to snap Zod's neck, killing him. Horrified at what he did, Superman screams out in agony as Lois arrives to console and deeply hurt Kal-El. So the skyscraper scene was pretty cool, about seeing how they fall and seeing these two characters destroying these buildings, and also seeing Perry try to save Jimmy. Well, that's actually supposed to be Jimmy, but they changed. They basically switched sex on this one and made him a girl. So they did a gender swap for Jimmy.
Okay.
So, but yeah, she's under that debris, and Perry's over there trying to save her. And then it's even darker at Metropolis than what it is when we saw them in Metropolis in the opening act. But, I like the fact that, these are the people that's actually seeing what's happening in their city. And there's something apocalyptic within it in itself. And seeing these superhuman beings just annihilate each other, beating each other up, and then flying into space, and then being on top of Bruce Wayne's satellite dish. I don't know if you noticed the logo on that or not, but yeah, there was. If you pay close attention, you can see the Wayne Enterprise logo on it.
Oh man, that makes it even sweeter.
So that's also why he's pissed at
You destroyed my satellite dish. Batman versus Superman.
Do you bleed?
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay. So yes, the one with Perry was touching. Because it just amazes me, us humans, like we do anything we can to help somebody who's in danger. Like they're trying to lift debris, and I'm like, we don't have any superhuman strength, but they're trying,
Right.
and then they stay there with her, like, well, we're all gonna die. And they're like, let's hold hands,
Well, also too, they even try getting like a pole, like a metal
Yeah.
pole, and get leverage to where they can get her out of there and get her out of there. So the two of them together basically are having their own strength, double their own strength.
Yes. Yes. But then when they just give up and they just like reach out their fingertips to each other, like, well, this is it. Right. It's really touching.
It really is. I love that scene too, even though it's all destruction.
Yeah.
And seeing the outcome of what they're witnessing.
Yeah.
Like, totally. Yeah, in the theater, we're yelling and we're hoping Superman gets Zod, but at the same time, it's also something horrifying to witness as well.
Yeah, it shows Superman can't save everybody, which is the conflict they should have had with the machine. But they did give me some conflict, like he's fighting Zod, and then there's debris on his girl, and then people are running around her, and he can't save everybody.
Exactly.
I think that is the lesson or premise of Superman. He can't save everybody. He wants to, but he can't because there's only one of them.
Exactly. And then Zod, after he gets, I like the whole entire. It also feels like the Matrix. This also feels like the Matrix with them flying through the air, getting punched around inside the office buildings and stuff like that. I thought these scenes were pretty neat to actually see because we never seen that in a Superman movie before.
When did the Matrix come out?
99 or 98.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they stole some of that from the Matrix, but it's fine. So stole some from the Matrix and then put it in the Superman movie.
Well, if you think about it, though, they pretty much borrow stuff from Superman, though, because Superman's been out for years. Because in part 2, Neo flies.
Okay. Well, you can do that with your next review.
Well, we already did all
three. Versus Man of Steel?
Parallels? I don't know. The thing here's another thing, though, too. With Zod, he goes, this quote that I like is, I did, and not a day goes by that it does not haunt me. But if I had to do it again, I would. I have a duty to my people, and I would not allow anyone to prevent me from carrying it out. And then also, too, this also gets a revenge plot, though, too, going. Because remember, whenever we actually get the fact that Zod killed Kal-El's father.
Yes.
He doesn't know that he was the one who killed his father. So that pissed him off even more, that this man also killed my father, who's also going to kill everybody else that I care about on this planet if I don't do something about it.
Yeah, I do remember the controversy about his death, Zod's death. And if Superman should have killed him, I think most of the people that didn't agree wanted it to be a Man of Steel 2, where Zod comes back. I think that was most of their complaints. Like, oh, you killed this guy, now what? There's no Man of Steel 2.
Also, too, the one that I always see is this, okay? Like, Superman does not kill. Superman is supposed to be the best of Batman because Batman is the one that is the loose cannon.
Well,
Superman is supposed to be best. Huh?
He doesn't kill either. Later on, but initially he just beats people up.
Right, and just puts them in the hospital.
Yeah.
But also, too, Michael Keaton's Batman, he also put a bomb in someone's crotch and,
Oh, that's just silly games. What are you talking about? It's all fun and games. Come on.
But, okay, so I actually did a vote on Twitter. Okay. If if everyone thought that, did you think Superman should have broken Zod's neck? 66.7% said yes. And my friend Sean said, there was actually a comment, but I guess someone deleted it. But he actually agrees that he should have died, because Zod actually said it. He said this to him. He goes, I will stop at nothing to kill the people that you love. And it doesn't matter what you do. I'm going to kill everyone you love. And even whenever he has this heat blasters inside the subway station, he was about to wipe out and disintegrate those whole entire the women and children in that building.
Yeah, they were in a corner, and the lasers were like right here. And I guess I don't disagree. I think he should be gone.
We had no choice but to kill him.
If there was another way, well, he couldn't have covered his eyes because he would burn through his flesh. You just do like thoink.
It's not the Three Stooges.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. He should have. Yeah, he should be gone. Even when I first saw it, I was like, oh. And then I was like, it's about time. I got tired of that Boy Scout crowd.
Right? But okay, this is what my friend Sean says. Okay, he goes, it was a less of a dick move than taking away his powers and then murdering him. Then he says he's a protector of humans. He's not a protector of Kryptonians trying to kill him and humans.
True. Yeah. True.
So I agree with him snapping Zod's neck. I'm sorry. I know that's controversial. I know that's something that nobody wants to hear. But what choice did he have? He even said it himself. I will stop at nothing to kill the people you love.
Yeah.
And destroy the human race.
Yeah.
So what choice? What did Superman have? What could he do? He already just tried to suck everybody into this phantom zone. And the only ones that he did was get Zod's little groupies to get sucked off. I'm sorry, that didn't get sucked into the phantom zone.
Oh my God.
But you know what I'm saying, Tomeka.
Yeah, totally. Eat.
But what did you want the man to do? And he even said, Zod, stop this. Yeah. Stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Zod said no. So he goes on ahead. He kills him. And even in Superman 2, he takes away Zod's powers and he kills him.
Yeah.
So you're okay with that. You're okay with weakening this other superhuman.
Yeah.
And taking away his powers and then making him a wimp and then basically kicking him in the balls and killing him.
Yes.
But you're not okay with him not taking away his powers.
Yes.
And,
I think it was the neck snapping for them.
Yeah, it was.
I guess they would have liked the other way where it's like, let's just like take away his powers and then render him useless and then kill him. I guess that's like a humane way for them. But I'm like, there's nothing humane about this man. He needs to go.
This man had dead center on what he was going to do. He had a plan. He was going to carry it out. He's the characters that think that they're on the right are the most dangerous characters. I will say that again.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill and say that Superman did the right thing by cracking his neck. Yeah. Even though some people don't like that ending.
I agree. I agreed in the theater when I first saw it, and I agree now.
Because I was even thinking this too. I'm like, okay, let me go into it with an open mind.
Okay.
What, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me try and get a new perspective of it. And the motivation for Zod is still there. Mm-hmm. It's there in black and white. Mm-hmm. Clear as day of what his motives were. Mm-hmm. And there's no other way about it. There's no other way you can try to do this. You arrest him, he breaks out of prison. He has superpowers. You can't get kryptonite, but how do you get the kryptonite to weaken someone like this? And also, too, he's a Kryptonian who's also probably immune to the kryptonite. So, therefore, you cannot weaken his powers. Unless you...
So, if you arrest him, where are you going to put him?
Exactly. Area 51? I don't know. But I just don't understand what else could he do? I don't understand what other ending that everybody wanted from this movie.
I can't think of anything else besides maybe they wanted it. Maybe they wanted it written some kind of way where Zod escapes and there's a Man of Steel 2 and then he is killed. I don't know. But I'm like, listen, this man had to go. But what I do find scary and is that you see a little bit of a dark side of Superman. You know, like if he's really provoked and in a corner like Zod put him in, he will snap your neck. You know, like
Right.
Like what if this was a human without any superpowers and he was a threat to other humans?
Well, put him in the line of like a cop or someone, for example, of someone committing crime, and you don't want to kill this person, for example. But you're putting that person in the position of having. I'm just saying. I'm just using it as an example. But you're putting yourself in the line of fire. Or I'm just trying to give some examples. But it's like, what do? You just say, now, don't be pointing that gun at me. You need to put it down. No, you pointed something at me, so therefore I'm going to point something at you, and then there's going to be repercussions. The repercussions is I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. So in Superman,
sorry,
I
don't know.
Yeah, in the Superman context, we just put him on such a high pedestal where we like Superman cannot kill. What is he doing? You know, and I'm sure in the comics he killed and murdered people countless times. I mean, I guess here it's like Superman cannot kill. He is a Boy Scout, and people are just adamant about that. They're like, Batman can, and they don't even want Batman to kill. They're like, Batman is not supposed to kill. He's supposed to like break your arm and put you in the crazy house,
or put you in a coma. And either way it goes, you're still alive.
Yeah, but it's like I'm tired of that. You know, I'm tired of like these limits they're putting on these superheroes.
They handcuff them to who
they expect them to be like moral and upright, and I'm like, these are dangerous people. Like Superman is dangerous. He's a dangerous alien. He has all these powers. Like if he's provoked,
he's like a god.
Yeah, he's provoked. That's what they mentioned. They touched a little bit on that in Justice League. You know, if he's provoked, he can do some serious damage. Like he constantly has to keep himself in check and in control. Like he's the only one that can control himself. And there comes a point where like everybody has somebody that can check them, but nobody can check Superman. And that is very dangerous. I think that's something people need to realize. Even with Batman, I mean, he had Alfred to kind of sort of check him, but when Alfred's not
have a moral compass in a sense.
Yeah, if Alfred is not there and Alfred's gone, who's going to check Batman? Like
no one.
Going off the edge.
But like, also too, they have no jurisdiction. Even Superman has no jurisdiction, just as Batman doesn't have no jurisdiction either.
Yeah. And that's the thing I did like about the Avengers series, how they incorporated the government into it. Like the Sokovian Accords, that was their jurisdiction. And they were saying like, you guys are super beings. You have no control. You could just do whatever you want to. You need to be regulated, you know, and that made sense to me, but it sucked because it's like, no, they're superheroes. But then if you think about it practically, how much property damage have these people done?
Exactly.
And then you got lawsuits, somebody, I don't know, shard of glass cut somebody, and you find aliens, and they're like, what? I saved the world. And they're like, yeah.
Someone's uncle dies or something.
Yeah, I got medical bills. And then we got this city is in disarray. Like that concept I find really interesting in superhero movies. Like, what is the aftermath? Like, yes, they save the world. Yes,
what other consequences behind? Right.
Yeah, Superman killed Zod, but what was the consequence behind that? Like it had to be done, but everything has a consequence.
Exactly. That's how. So now we're getting into wrapping it up. So sometime later, Superman downs a U.S. military drone to the concentration of Army General Calvin Swanswick. Superman reassures him he's not an enemy of American interests or communities, but he does not want anyone spying on him. Swanswick agrees, returning to Smallville to speak with his mother, Martha. The two peacefully think back to the 9-year-old Clark playing in the garden and running around with a red cape on his back, a sign of things to come and the potential Jonathan always saw him in. Martha then asks what Clark's going to do when he's not saving the world, and Clark tells her he has to get a job where he can keep his head to the ground, and no one will get suspicious when he wants to go to dangerous places. In a rebuilding Metropolis, Clark is on his bike and arrives at the Daily Planet. As he enters the elevator, he puts on his eyeglasses so nobody would recognize him as the alien hero, Superman. He's greeted by Lois, who welcomes him to the planet. That's it. So he gets another job.
What are you gonna do now, son? I got bills to pay, Mom. I gotta get a job. Superman got bills? Oh no.
But I like the whole thing with the Connell and stuff like that too. And then the woman's over there smiling. He goes, "What are you smiling about?" Because he's kind of hot, sir.
Yeah. That was cool, but also you can see not much of a threat he is. He threw a missile at the general. I'm like, oh my God.
He's threw a whole entire satellite at him.
You snap somebody's neck and then you throw a satellite. I mean, you just kind of a little bit off the hinge right now. And like he said, what's gonna stop you from killing us? That was a great answer. I mean, that was a great question that he asked Superman. Like, how can we trust you not to kill us? You're a super being. And he's like, we just got to have faith in me. Like, no, I don't know you. Like,
I only knew you yesterday.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how much time has passed either.
Exactly. Like,
I wish that they would have actually gave us some context into how long it's been.
Yes.
So it could have been yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, you just have to have some faith in me.
What if you had a bad day and you just like kill us because we were in the way? Like,
well, we already saw that in Superman 3.
That would just make me so uneasy. You know how people say, oh, I wish I could live in a world with superheroes. No, I don't, because it would make me feel so uneasy. Like, okay, what if they have a bad day? And we're just at their mercy because they're super beings.
Well, I have a question for you. So what happens if our house just gets destroyed? Would that be an act of God? And would our insurance cover it?
Depend on your insurance.
Right.
Kind of insurance.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't like the reversal of Lois knowing who Clark is.
Me too.
It don't feel right to me. Like he's coming in and she's like, oh, Lois, Miss Clark. And she's like, oh, hey, hello, good sir. How are you? I never met before and don't know you're Superman under those glasses. How are you, sir? Welcome to the Daily Planet. I was like, oh, so fake. He's like, yes, I haven't met you before in my life. Like, come on.
At least,
like,
what I wanted was a little bit of clumsiness from Clark.
Yeah.
Like, this guy it looks like Superman's playing Clark. It doesn't look like
Superman cosplaying Clark.
That's what it looks like to me, because he has a smirk on his face. He looks like he has it together, while Clark is supposed to be this klutzy, nerdy guy and stuff. He doesn't have anything like that. And, he's like, and you see Perry goes, welcome, Clark, to the Daily Planet. Oh, welcome to the planet. And my mom's like, what did they mean by that? I'm like, it means, in context, welcome to our planet, not welcome to the Daily Planet.
Yes, he just looked like a college professor. that was getting a second job in between classes.
Right.
But I didn't feel any nerdiness from him.
No, this guy has it together, it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like he has looks like he has confidence in himself. He has a swagger about him.
Yeah, it's too much swagger. It's too much swagger. His back is straight. His glasses are on correct. It
was plaid.
His clothes are ironed. I don't get it. I don't like it at all.
No. I don't like it.
No. Too much product in his hair.
Too much gel.
Yeah, I got it coiffed up perfectly. No, I don't like it. He looks hot. I don't like it.
Until you see him in the bathtub with Lois in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, that was a weird scene. Why would they put them in the bathtub?
But we're not going to be covering Batman versus Superman.
That's like
or any of the other stuff within this. But I hope everyone enjoyed our review and our take on all the Superman movies leading up to the new Superman movie coming out next month.
Yes.
But I do have a couple of little small announcements that I want to bring up.
Okay.
So Rossie and I will be doing a show coming up this Wednesday for a little short film that we're reviewing called Checkmate for Life. That's like a thriller movie that we are going to be talking about. Dawn will be on with me for the Departed review coming up on Saturday. And then Wednesday, guys, you guys need to be here. You guys need to be here on Wednesday. We have Josh Prey coming in. Comedian Josh Prey. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about what got into movies, stuff like that. Just geeking out with Josh the whole entire time. We're going to talk about that. I will have It Doesn't Hold Up podcast talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's going to be on the 29th of this month. And I also have Doom Generation podcast. We're going to be doing a review of Airborne coming up in August. So we have a lot of stuff here coming up in the next couple of months. So smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. I just dropped my Accountant 2 review over there. Also did my John Wick versus Warriors review for the parallels in between. Take a look at that video. We have a lot of stuff. I have trailer reactions. We have all that stuff. If you guys can't watch this on YouTube, we do have an audio podcast that I'll put this on. Give me a 5-star review. Tell us what you think about our podcast here at Movie Lovers Unite. And also, too, go ahead and visit my co-host Rossie's YouTube channel called Rossie's Clubhouse. And that's going to be it, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe button, and all that other good stuff here. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much, Tomeka, for joining me for this final review for Man of Steel.
Yes.
I do appreciate it.
Don't piss Superman off. That's all I got to say.
You might actually get a DirecTV satellite shoved up your ass or something.
No.
Oh, all right, guys.
Hey-o.